All right, everyone. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin, the channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, the websites by plebes. We've got it all. All right, guys. Drop us a like and subscribe. And now we're going to go to the numbers. Here we go.
Booty dashboard.
So we are currently at a block height of 667,663. We are at a current Bitcoin price 32,590. Chain rewrite days 594. Total lightning capacity 1,056.06 BTC, and the Bitcoin versus gold market cap 5.05%.
Phil, I swear to God, it feels like we've been at these numbers for the past like 5 days. And unfortunately, Satoshi, the Bitcoin chicken, is very sad because he only clucks when the price of Bitcoin reaches an all-time high. But I'm sure that'll come very soon. Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. So somehow, this level of mental gymnastics is totally seen as normal. Okay, so this is the garbage that they're spreading as some kind of gospel. Okay, so here we go. The ticker forks and the protocol forks. This is complete garbage. That is a complete nonsense argument. Okay, because the reality is that Bitcoin, BTC, is the longest chain. Okay, BSV is a fork of BCH, which is a fork. Okay, those are two hard forks away. I just don't understand where they come up this absolute nonsense garbage, and they pretend that it makes sense. It's hilarious. It's also frightening at the same time, right?
Absolutely.
Like I swear to, I mean, I don't even know what to say, but it's just ridiculous and sad. And poor noobs, man, poor noobs just get totally sucked into this because they start looking at it and they're like, oh, a ticker fork and a protocol fork. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, when you don't know shit, that makes sense. But once you do, you realize it's a complete garbage nonsense narrative, okay? Because Bitcoin has been the exact same the entire time. All of the changes, okay, came through consensus. The majority of people agreed. And then the people who did not hard forked off to a shit chain that no one cares about. And they pretend it's Bitcoin. No one cares. Anyways.
Absolutely, man. Preach. Phil is preaching the Satoshi gospel. You're absolutely right. I think you covered every single point, Phil. And it's propaganda to fit their narrative, to sell their, shitcoin. And look, you brought it up on Sunday's show, right? The hash rate speaks for itself. As much as you want to show these fancy graphics, right? The hash rate of BSV has been a straight line, and the Bitcoin hash rate has been exponential. So as much as you want to show this propaganda, make it look nice and whatever, and say CSW is Satoshi, look, at the end of the day, the hash rate speaks for itself, and whatever that those people are gonna have fun. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review.
All right, everybody. Our meme for today is brought to us by BTC Simplified _. And the meme is Bitcoin is the best. Dude, and look, that's one of my favorite movies. That's Forrest Gump. Okay. Awesome source material. It's hilarious. It's easy to understand. Phil, I'm going to give that an 8. What about you?
All right, I'm going a little bit higher today. I'm a little bit nicer. I'm going with a 9, solid 9 on that.
Okay, why did you give it a 9?
Okay, Forrest Gump. That's all I got to say. Forrest Gump is such a classic. It was one of those movies that was an instant classic, and so many people have seen it. That scene in specific is so recognizable and has been used so many different times. I think that it's, if nothing else, it'll make people question,
Absolutely. It's definitely a cultural, it's a cultural reference. Exactly what scene that is when they're alluding to it. And the next meme is brought to us by Labra Hodl 5. Let's check it out. Govern and regulate you. Dude, Very, very good. Very, very good. And I just want to say the meme was made by the Matic. Okay, Phil, very good meme. Funny. You don't have a weakness for laughter. I'm going to give that an 8.5. What about you?
Well, I think I'm going the same again.
9.
Give it a solid 9.
Why did you give it a 9?
Because it totally made me laugh.
Absolutely. Look, there's not
because
much
it made me laugh. And sorry. And it's also the scene from
Ozark.
What's it called?
Ozark.
Oh my god. The show with thank you, the Ozark, the money launderers. I'm sorry. I saw the whole series. Totally loved it. And I think it's totally fitting to Bitcoin. You
Absolutely.
know? So
I didn't think about that. They're money launderers. I totally didn't think about
exactly, money launderers, you know, like it's so, and of course Bitcoin has nothing to do with that, but it's just because of the way the mainstream media portrays it and everything. It was pretty well done.
Dude, I didn't even think about that, and it still made me laugh. Wow. Okay, that meme was more in depth than I thought. Wow. Okay, perhaps I should have given it a higher score. Next time, I'll pay more attention, I guess. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks. All right, everybody. Today we're going to cover the Great Reset, and we're going to cover it today because it was the day of the forum in Davos, Switzerland. Of course, I'm talking about the World Economic Forum. I know what you're thinking. What does this have to do with Bitcoin? I will tell you in a second. It has everything to do with Bitcoin. First, let's check out this video.
It's a very pertinent question to ask, how do we build back better?
To build back better or whatever.
We have a chance to reset the clock and build back better than before.
To build back better than before.
Remember the terrible damage of COVID as we try to build back from this global pandemic.
Joe Biden calls it build back better.
Build back better.
Building back better.
To do things differently. To build back better.
We're going to build it back better.
And build it back better.
It's my plan to build back better.
Start taking all the problems that have been created in education and mental health and start to build back in a positive way.
I have launched a booklet called Build Back Better, Britain After Coronavirus.
It's about building this country back better.
Growing conspiracy following it. It is called the Great Reset.
An unprecedented opportunity to rethink and reset the ways in which we live.
The great opportunity for reset.
The theory even calls Mr. Biden's campaign slogan, Build Back Better, a front for the conspiracy.
Build back better.
Building back better our economy.
Build back better.
All elements of the Great Reset are fundamental to building the future we need.
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset.
It's a big effort to, some would say, to build back better. We would say to really have a great reset.
Conspiracy.
So look, it's absolutely terrifying. Across different nations all around the world, they're all saying the same thing. And as you saw at the end of the video, Klaus himself was basically saying they're one and the same, right? This is absolutely terrifying. Every single country goes to the World Economic Forum every year in Davos, Switzerland. And look, it's just every single politician is onto this. In my opinion, it's a guise for totalitarian control. You've already seen the censoring that's taking place. Specifically this time, they're targeting conservatives. They're even shutting down their bank accounts. I'm going to tie this in a second. From Brazil, we have a politician. Look, again, we're not being hyperbolic here, okay? When I say it's totalitarian control, I'm not the only one thinking this. This is a politician saying the same thing. The pandemic must not lead to totalitarian social control or the aberration of fundamental freedoms. Freedom is foundational to the UN and essential to human dignity. And of course, he's referring to no on the Great Reset. And it's absolutely terrifying that they had Obama, they had Boris Johnson, they had the Prime Minister of New Zealand, they had everybody, Hillary Clinton, they had everybody. And of course, Who's behind the great reset? Who's going to be in charge? Here's Jack Posobiec. He's a conservative commentator on Twitter, and he, China lays it out. And they said specifically, we should stay committed to keeping up with the times ahead instead of rejecting change. Now's the time of major development and major transformation. He's absolutely right. China right now is they have the strongest economy. They're trying to whatever. And it's significant because China is known for censoring all the speech behind the great firewall in China. So this is absolutely terrifying. And why is all this possible? This is all possible because the centralization of money, right? And the centralization of money concentrates a ridiculous amount of power in the hands of the elites, in the hands of the few. And Russell Okung has this amazing observation. His tweet says, the battle between centralization and decentralization is one of the greatest struggles of our time. He's absolutely right. We're going to have a choice. The lines are a little blurry right now, but they're going to get more defined as more of this great reset plan gets unveiled. And it's very simple. Are you going to want a life of freedom and liberty and, spend and pay whoever you want? Or are you going to have a life of central bank digital currencies that they're going to be able to censor your transactions of the people they don't agree with, right? The elites who they don't agree with. And you've already seen that with the the conservatives that got censored because of what happened in the last couple of weeks. So it's terrifying. And remember, the only reason that they can't, the only reason that Bitcoin represents freedom is because they can't regulate it. They can't touch it, right? This scares them. They're going to want to fight it. Max Kaiser says a few things regulators can't regulate. Bitcoin, and they can't regulate, obviously, because it's decentralized. And Robert Breedlove, I think, perfectly describes what we've been reporting to you on Simply Bitcoin for months now, right? That they're going to come and fight Bitcoin because they can't control it. Because they can't control it, they hate it, right? They need that control. And these are the top of the people, right? And, I think Robert Breedlove says it the best. In 2020 to 2023, Bitcoin is going to be fought against. This is the war to come. This is where we think this is going. And remember, these great reset people are evil as hell. These are the people that are behind the advertising, very sinister advertising. In my opinion, I could be wrong here. It's very neo-Marxist, but it comes from the advertising that says in 2030, you will be happy and you won't own anything. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely not going to be happy just, basically renting everything from these elites. Do you think they're going to let go of their possessions? Hell no. They're going to own everything. That's really what they want here. So Bitcoin allows you to escape that tyranny. It allows you to opt out of this insanity these people are even able of doing because of the centralization of the current financial system. Phil, what are your thoughts on this?
They've been talking up the Great Reset now for a couple of months. I know that they've been preparing for much longer than that, but they've only brought it into the light, right, during COVID. So that's very interesting. Definitely, I think that what's happening is that, China is coming across as a player that, wants to look like they're helping out and everything like that, but really they are hell-bent on world domination. And I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Like, there's more than just China that wants world domination, right? I mean, the US dominates the world right now. Russia would like to be a world dominator. Like, this is what happens, right? But at the same time, it's like, it's sometimes what is it? It's like the monster versus the one that you don't. Like, this is one of these situations where I think that the Great Reset is the great lie. Like, we are about to enter into something. If this is going to happen, right? Because it seems that many countries are on board. I mean, you had the Canadian Prime Minister, you had people, obviously politicians from the US, you had people from all over the world talking about the exact same words. That should scare all of us. Why are they all using the same exact wording? And why do we all need to be convinced of this single idea? I don't know, man. That's scary stuff, dude.
It really is. And it's like, these are the people that come out. These are the same people that come up with the ad, you will own nothing and be happy. And it's like, man, it's crazy because covering it's so hard. It's like, perhaps we're getting to, it's not conspiracy theory, right? It's like, it's
just
so
scary stuff.
It's obvious. It's obvious. It's like, it's all over the place.
They're not even hiding it anymore. They used to hide it.
Absolutely. And like, I think, Phil, like this is why Bitcoin is so important, because it gives the ability to opt out of this madness. Like what would we do if it wasn't for Bitcoin? It's terrifying.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's absolutely terrifying. And Phil, speaking of fighting and I guess putting up, I wanted to kind of bring up this show. I mean, not this show. I wanted to talk about Coin Center. Coin Center is basically the lobbying arm of you could say crypto, but in reality, Bitcoin is in there, and it looks like Grayscale is donating $1 million. But Coin Center is cool because they lobby for the whole Bitcoin industry. They educate politicians in Washington, and these are the people that you want to, you donate. We don't have any association with them, but these are the people that you do want to donate if you want to put money towards the fighting. I know that Pedro, recently donated $10,000. I saw him announce it on Twitter. So those are the people that you want to donate to fight for you, to fight against the Great Reset, to fight for freedom, liberty, and of course, Bitcoin, right? So this is what I want to cover today, Phil. I know it's a little slow, but I thought it was very interesting. And it's just, it's absolutely terrifying what's at stake here, right? It is literally choosing between a tyrannical future and a free future. And it's just funny how Bitcoin is the path for freedom. But it's super crazy. Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right. So it looks like we had a pretty big release. We're talking about censorship resistance and being, a sovereign individual. Well, it looks like EmbassyOS from the Start 19 released version 0.2.8 today, and that is down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. We have awesome shows for you guys lined up this week. We have a very special guest. We're not going to tell you who it is, but I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. Anyways, if you guys like the episode, smash that like button. If you guys love the episode, subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.